In the studio with me right now, the Halfway Kid is his name, and he's an artist redefining what it means to be a folk artist in our capital city of London. From rapper to singing folk tunes around the campfire, he's dropping a new album soon, and after selling out his headline show back in February, he's got another date in store for us. He's in the building. The Halfway Kid, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. You know what, actually, let me be honest. I've had a bit of a wobbly day. You know when you wake up and you have every intention of it being an amazing day, and then you kind of get hit with something a bit different than that, and you're like, oh, okay. But you know what? I'm like, it's a day of learning.
You got to roll with it.
You got to roll with it. Exactly. So, do you know what? I'm good. I'm here, I'm live, I'm breathing. I've got you in the studio, so it's a good day.
Good, I'm glad.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, I love that. I love it. And like I said with your intro, rapper to folk artist.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Most people wouldn't actually, you could very much put those genres together, but maybe some people wouldn't put that together. So tell us a bit more about your musical journey.
Oh, I get it, because there was a time when I wouldn't have put them together. I think when I was growing up, I listened to everything really, but the first thing I really loved was hip hop. So that was the thing that I loved the most, like the kind of songs like you're listening to it on the way to school, the song ain't finished, but I'm at school, you keep walking, kind of thing. And it was just like, that was like my first love. And then you're kind of looking for ways when you're like looking to get into music, of different ways of expressing yourself and different ways of like finding something that fits. And folk music to me when I was younger, I didn't think it was for me.
So interesting.
What it meant to me was like a bit boring. And like not exciting, and that was a misconception that I had. So then as I kind of started listening to more and more and more, I started finding it really exciting. And
was there a particular artist or band?
it was just getting into, do you know what, like as you're listening to stuff, listening to older artists, so people like Nina Simone, like Bob Dylan, like you see these videos of them with just one instrument, and the lyricism that I loved from hip hop was there, and the storytelling was there, but the melody was there as well. And you just see these like small figures like on YouTube or whatever, and they'd have the whole audience like in the palm of their hand, like something like Nina Simone. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Have you ever seen that?
I haven't, you know.
It's amazing. It's on YouTube. You gotta watch it.
Okay, that's tonight.
And yeah, just I guess trying to combine like the spirit of that and how excited that made me feel, and the lyricism of hip hop, and trying to just find a way to make it connect in a way for me and hopefully for other people as well.
Because it's so interesting as well that you talk about Nina Simone, who's very much a black woman, and you're a black man, and you thought folk music wasn't for you. Like, what did you mean by that? Is it because maybe you saw the folk artists that you saw, maybe you felt like you couldn't relate to them before people like Nina Simone? There's
especially growing up, like there's a thrill in hip hop. There's an excitement, and there was a kind of like, even if I wasn't like growing up in the hardest areas, or like there's still an excitement and a relatability to that kind of like struggle or suffering that is kind of universal in a way. And the folk music when I was younger, maybe I wasn't looking in the right places, but it felt different to that. It didn't feel as exciting. So when you're going back to these artists and they're combining it all in one thing, and they're kind of telling you, nah, it's for you. Now this is for you, and trying to get some of that excitement in there was what was getting me going, I guess.
Yeah. So do you think also, because with your lyricism, I'd say you're very much a storyteller. You know how to tell a story. You engage us. You're witty with it as well. Is that aspects that you've taken from hip hop?
For sure. Like I remember like those songs that like, especially like you press play and it's like the artist will pick you up 0.001 second and drop you off right at the end, and they do that with their storytelling. You never lived in this part or this area or America or wherever, and they're just carrying you along in their story, and I loved that. Like I loved that. So the idea to try and sort of replicate that in my own way, in a way that to me and my friends or the people around me felt reflective of art every day, was exciting. Like, number one job to try and entertain, but have some of that in there as well, you know, have that underneath.
Was there any resistance maybe when you transitioned from rapping to folk music? Was there any of like maybe friends or people around you was like, wait a minute?
A little bit, like my closest friends, no. They
Good.
were like they got it.
And that's why they're your closest friends.
Yeah, they got it straight away. There was definitely sometimes people would be like, "Why didn't that?" Or "We liked it when you were rapping," and I'd be like, "I didn't like it when I was rapping." But all right, cool.
So interesting.
But that's because you're learning. There's no school, and so to try and get to a place where it's working, it takes a while, you know. So I understood that, but yeah, there was resistance. People not really understanding it, not getting it, but that was okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it was you establishing yourself. The Halfway Kid. Why that name?
I think when you're trying to pick a name, at least initially, and I didn't want to go by my own name. Not for any other reason, just because at that time when I was learning how to write, I just didn't want to. And the reason I like that name is there's a sense of like search. It's not, you're never arriving. And kind of leaning into that, I liked the story that it kind of made me feel like I would be excited if I saw like the Halfway Kid. I would, if it was only just me, I'd be like, what's that? What's that sound like?
It's true.
So that I wanted to reflect that, but for me, that's what it did for me. So you're never arriving. It could be what it needs to be when it needs to be.
It's very clever, because I'm thinking you tell stories, and it's just a journey we've got to go on with you, but also you meet us halfway.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot. I like it. It's very smart. So you recently had a sold out headline show. How was that?
That was amazing. That felt like a moment, Like it's Seven Jazz Quarters is a great venue, and it was just intimate, and the kind of feeling I want in the songs is I want it to feel like to people that I'm talking to you, not at you.
Yeah.
And so a venue like that to be the first one and for it to be sold out really kind of emphasizes that feeling. And so it just felt great. We had a great time. It was just lovely, and you know what, like you shouldn't be watching videos after a gig, and normally you're supposed to say that you don't. But after that one for a few days, I was like, what was that? That was great. That was all right, wasn't it?
I love that. Was there anything that you felt maybe changed in you after that moment? Because to sell out a music gig is so important for artists though as well, because it's everyone coming to see you. They're paying money to see you. Everyone's there to see you. They're meeting new people for you. Is there anything that changed within you after that?
Well, in a way, yeah, because a big part of like the move across was like live music's really important to my kind of music, and I love performing live. And so that felt like a milestone in that. No, like when you're starting out in music, it's all just theory, You're like, I think this and I think that, and that's cool and you should hold on to that, but it's not until it's actually there in front of you or it's happened that you can kind of relax into it. And I felt like we did something, and I felt like we delivered a good show, and it was a really nice feeling, and it felt like, you know what, like, good, I'm glad, sweet. And then you're like, for better or worse, you're like, okay, on to the next one then, maybe.
Yeah.
For better and for worse.
Which you do have another show coming up.
We do, yes, on the 4th of May at the Social. So come on down.
Definitely sell that one out as well.
Come through.
Yes.
Tickets are going. If you like folk music, come. If you don't, come anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, you'll like it anyway. Because one thing we know for certain is your latest release.
Yes.
I Know a While.
I Know a While, yeah. So I Know a While came out a few weeks ago, and it was the kind of song I always wanted to write, but they're difficult to kind of get out. It's kind of like a lullaby, something you say to a friend to try and make them feel better, but without kind of lying or sugarcoating anything.
Yes, and I feel like this is so relevant for me, because I feel like I've been having a conversation with a friend recently where I've been trying to smoothly and sweetly tell him the truth of just like, come on, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Do you know in the song you say, well, I know you know because it's your song, but you say, I hope the voice that leaves your throat be the one you recognise.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that lyric really just sticks out for me. What do you mean by that?
I think it's like a lot of things I like writing about are like everyday life, and not necessarily like I woke up at 8 a.m. and done that, although there are loads of songs like that are cool as well. Kind of like from the breakup by the kettle in the kitchen to like staying up all night by the bedroom window, or to sneaking back in, like all of them things I want to kind of like write about, and identity and kind of growing into yourself. Especially when you're pressured and being pushed this way and that way. It's hard, and it's hard to kind of maintain it. So the voice that leaves your throat be the one you recognize is kind of like, a lot of the time, you know, when you meet someone and they're talking to you and you're like, that's not you, that's your dad's voice. Or like, that's not you, that's someone else's voice.
Yeah, you sound like someone else.
But you can't say that, but sometimes you feel it. And so I feel like part of sort of growing into yourself is finding your own voice, and you recognize it even though it's new.
Yeah, it's so true. It's something, yeah, it's very true. If anyone's just tuned in now, I've got the Halfway Kid joined with me in the studio, folk artist, and we're talking about a new album that's coming.
Yep.
Tell us about the new album.
The new album, so again, another culmination, just like the gig that we were talking about before. My debut album is called, and this is an exclusive.
Oh, wait, I need a sound effect. Go for it.
Oh, am I doing it?
No. You say the name.
If I don't come home, go to my house and burn my things.
Burn your things?
I always wanted that button. Can you press it again?
Okay, say the title again.
I'm coming. If I don't come home, go to my house and burn my things.
Well, we have to call the police. Anyway, do you know what? I love albums with long titles like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's so like, what made you think of that? What made you think of that title?
Well, I wrote a song, the lead song on the album is If I Don't Come Home, Go to My House and Hide My Things. And then live, I just started switching it up and just singing that in the chorus instead. And the story and the feeling and the character of it kind of made me laugh, which is always a good kind of point, because sometimes, especially with folk music, people can think it's like self-serious. But it's not. Like, it can be, but make you laugh, make you cry, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, just the story of it and the feeling of it and that searching feeling. I found that in the title.
So now we know, if you don't come home, you've got to go to your house and burn your things.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. I think I might hide them. I'll stick with the original.
Go and hide them. We can live with that for now.
Well, I might take them. I'm joking. Right, where do we go to find you, follow you, keep up with the album coming? Have you got a date for it?
Yep, April 21st.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
see, that's good. I nearly got out here without saying that.
Yeah, April 21st it comes out.
April 21st, the album. 4th of May, the show at the Social, just up the road from here.
I love it. And where do we find you and follow you?
You can find me at The Halfway Kid on Instagram, anywhere you get your social media fix.
Well, that's where we can find you. But if you don't come home, then we have to
burn my things. But if it's you can hide them.
Right, we're going to play your latest track, but I would love you to do the honours of reintroducing yourself and introducing the track. So over to you.
Right, so I've been The Halfway Kid. I'm your local friendly neighbourhood folk singer. And this is I Know, my single from my debut album.